Hello, all. Hello. I'm just sitting here thinking that once you've had cancer twice, what is it like? What's it like moving forward? And what I can tell you is that there's a couple of different ways to deal with it. Some people just go exactly back to what they were doing before and don't change anything. And I see how appealing that is, really is. And it's not something I can do. Other people change absolutely everything about their life. It's a huge pivot point for them to move into something completely different, to move into to pursue the passion, to make the changes that they want to make in their lives, all sorts of things. It's a really big pivot point for them. I see that as well. I think what happens what's happened for me is I'm much more towards the pivot point. Both times with the brain tumor and this time with the breast cancer, it has been a big pivot point. The brain tumor was a big pivot point in terms of my relationships and what I will and won't accept. And ended up going through a marriage breakup and a number of other things. Things really changed for me in terms of my intimacy circle, in terms of my friend circles and things like that, because I just went, you know what, life's too short. And so I ended a bad marriage. This time it's much more about what am I going to do? What am I doing with my life? Last time with the brain tumor, it wasn't so much about that because I was so unwell for so long that it became a bit more about survival. I had to do what I knew how to do because I had limited energy, limited mental capacity due to the brain injury and things like that. So I just had to do what I knew how to do. This time I'm in a much better place, and because the cancer this time hasn't damaged me the way the brain tumor did the first time, I'm in a much better place to go, how do I want to move forward in my life? How do I want to impact the world? What sort of, you know, do I want to leave a legacy? What sort of legacy? How do I want to help people? Do I want to utilize gifts I haven't used? Do I want to grow into gifts I do use? It's been a lot more like that for me this time. So I think I'm much more on that pivot point. Let's really change things. And I have touched on a lot of my gifts over the years, but I've never really really dived in out of fear. Fear's the biggest one, fear and a scarcity mentality, because it's really tough to just go, oh, I'm just going to do it when you've got bills to pay and things like that. But what I've realised is that what cancer shows you is that the bills are going to be there whether or not you do it, because that's just part of living. And you can live chasing to pay the bills, or you can live chasing to live your life. And yes, you've still got to pay your bills, but you also need to live your life because the time goes by anyway. For me, I felt both times my life got put on hold. With the brain injury, it was for years. This time it's been just a couple of months, and everything gets put on hold, but the world keeps turning, the clock keeps ticking, time keeps passing, and none of that changes just because you're a bit unwell, or just because you're not in the financial place you want to be in, just because you're not living in the house you want to live in. None of that changes. Everything keeps passing, everything keeps moving, and it's going to move with or without you. And for me, cancer's been a big reminder that you don't get too many chances to do it the way you want to do it. You don't get too many chances, and nothing's promised to you. I could get in the car tomorrow and be hit by a bus, and that is, it may sound morbid, but it's also the truth. I mean, you don't know. You're not sent into this life with a timeline, and a diary and a to-do list, so you've got to make it yourself. So the big impact for me, and with the COVID-19 and everything that's going on as well, I think the whole world's getting a little bit of a wake-up call, going, nothing's guaranteed, and everything can change in a heartbeat. Everything can change in a heartbeat. The COVID virus is doing that for the world. Cancer does that for the individual, and occasionally for the individual's family. And so it's about going, how am I going to move forward? How am I going to allow this to be a positive in my life? And I believe that cancer can be a huge positive in your life. And I believe that if you look at it as a positive, as a learning experience, as a warning, as a warning to your own mortality in a good way, a learning experience and an opportunity to pivot and go, right, I am changing direction, then cancer can be a really, really good thing to have in your life. So I'm personally grateful. I've had another kick up the arse about doing things differently. I am changing things for my health, as you guys know. I'm going to change things with the business. I've changed where I live, and it's about moving forward and seeing this as an opportunity and being really, really grateful that I have been given another chance. So that's where we're at today. Self-isolating, looking after myself. The immune system is still compromised. So I hope you guys are all looking after yourselves. I hope you're looking after the people around you by staying away from everyone. And we're all going to get through this. The world will be a little bit different place when we come out, but all get through it. And hopefully we'll all see the positives from it down the track. We'll talk to you soon.